Welcome back to the live coverage of YCS London 2018. It is the largest United Kingdom Yu-Gi-Oh event of all time. We've been here 3 times before, it's the 4th time we're in London. We've had players from Austria, Italy, Canada winning this event, but never someone from the UK. The crowd went completely wild last time I asked if this weekend is going to be happening. I hope they're going to be a little bit different now, leading up into this final. So let's bring up the players. We've all been waiting for a little bit. We had a power outtake that lasted for something like 20 minutes in the feature match area. The stream has been restored. The confidence of us has been restored. The players are a little bit shaky, but I think they basically are good again after those 15 minutes of a good break. So let's bring them out. Let's hear it for them. On the red side, we got Mirko Zanelli from Italy. Mirko, come here. Mirko, how are you feeling right now?
It's a very, very good emotion, but I need to win for...
You need to win? Is it for Italy for you?
Yes.
How do you feel about the matchup?
I don't know how the deck builder for my opponent, so probably he play a deck against me, right. But I think Pure is better.
Okay, he feels his deck is the superior deck. Ping does know that he is playing Sky Striker, so I can give that away. And I maybe could do a quick crowd check, but I think first we need to bring up the other player in the blue corner. We got Ping Xiao from the UK. Oh. I can see you invited a few more friends since the last time we did that little crowd check. I've been asking you a couple of times today how you're feeling. What is it like now sitting in the finals again?
Well, I was feeling okay until you put the pressure on me. So, but I'm still feeling okay.
Did anything change? Last time I asked you what's your chances, you said something like 50%. Did that change in any way?
I thought it was that 1 in 8. Well, now it's 1 in 2, so 50%, yeah.
But doesn't the crowd make the difference here?
The crowd definitely makes a difference. Everyone's cheering for me, and I'll do my best for you guys.
All right. You went with a bit of a different deck. You're not going with you're not going with Sky Striker. Are you happy with your choice with Trickster? And what do you think? How's it going to go in the finals?
Well, I am very happy with my choice. It's something that I'm very comfortable with. As for the final, let's see how things goes. Depends on how things opens, I suppose.
All right, guys. Please have a seat.
Thank you.
All right. Now it's time to do a quick die roll to decide who's going to go first. Ping is rolling a 9. Mirko's got a 10. So you can decide who wants to go first. And very, very quickly he decides to go first. All right. Time for the crowd check. Who wants to see Sky Striker win? Okay. If you thought our microphones were malfunctioning, they weren't. It just seems that the excitement isn't there. Who wants to see Trickstar win? Or let's put this a little bit differently. Who wants to see Italy win? Who wants to see a player from the UK win for the first time at YCS London? Okay, I just heard I'm a little bit biased. That means I'm going to get kicked out of coverage. Let's take you guys over to Tom Galizia and Tom Payne.
Welcome back, guys. This is it. It's the final of YCS London 2018. We hope you're as excited as we are. Ping Zhao from the UK is up against Mirko Zanelli from Italy, and we are just about ready for this, Tom. I can't contain my excitement.
You can't contain
Personally,
your excitement.
a player from the UK and from Italy in the final in my hometown. How do you feel about this?
It's pretty exciting. I heard a great joke from someone. They said the power went down because there weren't enough Thunder Dragons around.
Yes, we heard that. We tried to keep
good.
the players entertained while those Thunder Dragons came back on board. We know they both are aware of their decks they're playing. The Trickstar versus the Sky Striker
It's a
Pure.
classic over the last year. This was one of the defining matchups of 2018, pretty
Indeed.
much.
And here it is in the final
again.
in YCS London.
You thought you could get rid of them, but you can't.
They are here for the
Here to
long
stay.
game.
Yeah.
So, any particular favourite for you here? Is there a match winner here among the two decks?
Ping is more prepared for this matchup, I get the feeling. So Zanelli, I can actually see on his deck list that he had Shared Ride written down, and then he crossed it out. So that would have been a useful card against Trickstar, and instead he's got Infinite Impermanence, which is probably less helpful in the Trickstar deck. So we do see Zanelli shifting more to play against the sort of FTK style decks or the explosive combo decks, which Ping is definitely not playing. So maybe that's going to benefit him.
Well, let's see, Tom.
Let's see how it
We're
goes.
ready. The judges are loading the cards into the app for us. Without further ado, let's take you to the final of YCS London 2018. Let's head over to the match table.
Oh, here we go. It took no time at all for Engage to hit the field.
Nope, absolutely not.
Merca also playing left-handed. Maybe he is left-handed. Always confused me a bit, the deck on the left-hand side.
And obviously these guys are at the final of a YCS. We can see straight away the Droll in Lockbird getting the roar from the crowd here.
It's a pretty good card. I can see that. So Droll just basically shuts down the Sky Striker deck for the turn. It's going to give Ping an opportunity to run wild. However, we don't actually know what he's going to run wild with just yet because our app is not loading all of the cards in Ping's hand and I can't see them. So we're just going to have to watch with everybody else right now.
Indeed.
So it looks like Mirko has an Infinite Impermanence, a Metal Foes Fusion. He's just picked up the Engage again. I could definitely see a copy of Engage and possibly a Pot of Desires as well in Ping's hand.
So there's the Engage.
He's going to be
Ping.
pretty happy with that.
And the crowd are right up for this, Tom. You can hear every time a card gets played, it's getting a roar.
Unfair. It's much harder for me to tell what's going on when I can't see what cards they have.
So there we go.
That
We can see
is a pretty good hand. That is a very good hand for Ping.
So he's feeling confident.
These are all the cards you want to see in your opening hand. Oh, here we go. And he's got a Pot of Desires. I would say he's going to be pretty happy with this. Light Stage is going to shut off one more back row. Yeah, this is all pretty good stuff.
And how's Mirko feeling?
How's Mirko feeling? I would say not that great. I mean,
he's got another copy of Engage in hand. Is
He
that
does.
going to come back into it?
So he's going to get to play a lot on his next turn. It just depends what Ping's going to do this turn.
Fair enough. We're about to find out.
We are. I mean, he's got the Widow Anchor as well to take control of his opponent's Kagari, and then that's a powerful play because it stops the Ray coming back from the graveyard. I mean,
Is the Called by the Grave going to come into play here, Tom?
not just yet, because I think it's preferable to use the Widow Anchor to take control of the Kagari. Called by the Grave could be used on to banish the Ray instead if he just wants to attack over the Kagari, but you might as well just take it with the Widow Anchor, and then you don't need to bother.
And we see the Twin Twisters coming down to get rid of that Light Stage.
We do. We're going to have to wait and see if whether Ping has got any targets for Engage left in his deck. I expect to see Ping's copy of Kagari being negated by the either the Widow Anchor or the Impermanence that's face down on Mirko's side of the field. I'm not sure which one he'll choose.
He uses the Widow Anchor.
Makes sense, because that's the one he can get back again. So he'd rather have that in the graveyard. So between these two cards, he's kind of shut off a couple of options from Ping, because he can't now, he's not got the option to get his Trickstar cards online. So, I mean, he can take this. This is a tempo swing. He's going to deal some damage. I guess we're going to wait and see. I mean, I'm not sure where
Ping was having a think there. What was he thinking about,
Ping's
Tom?
going with this. I don't know what he was thinking about. Couldn't possibly say. He knows his opponent's last card is Engage, so it might be that he's just going to shotgun that Reincarnation on his opponent's turn in order to stop the Engage from, stop him having an Engage in hand. But he might just count the number of spells in Mirko's grave first to see whether he's afraid of that happening.
So we see him linking away here.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the point of sending a Sky Striker spell from his deck to his grave, because he doesn't really have that many of them. I suppose I don't know what he wants to draw. I don't know. I guess we'll see. It's up
So
to him.
Straight into the battle phase, declares direct attack, and it's the first damage of this final match.
First blood goes to Ping.
Home player.
I don't know if he's going to send anything. He might, yeah, he might just be using it for the link arrow so he can make Shizuku without having to give up his, well, he obviously doesn't, oh, he's not using it for the link arrow either. Okay. Okay, so there's the impermanence, negating the Phoenix just for the hell of it. And now Ping can, yeah, I'm guessing the reincarnation.
So it's
comes
looking
down here.
pretty good for Ping here.
Well, it really, really depends on what Mirko draws off this reincarnation, because he's going to just have two completely unseen cards.
Looks like 2 spells.
One of them's Upstart Goblin, so we're going to have to be delayed for a little bit longer. It's pretty tense.
It is indeed.
I still can't see what they are, because maybe that means it's Area 0. Oh, he's also got the Metal Foes Fusion for an extra draw. Ping just checking whether he can manage the Metal Foes Fusion with his Called by the Grave, being very hopeful. He's really hoping that Mirko gets nothing going here. That's a multi-roll, which doesn't get anything going by itself. Mirko just checking there's no shenanigans coming from Ping's
Foolish Burial
graveyard.
Goods and Area 0.
Aha! That's okay, because the Area 0... I mean, Foolish Burial Goods probably just going to be fodder for the Area 0 at this point, because he's got no... He wants to normally send the Metal Foes Fusion, but he's already used that this turn.
And is the Call by the Grave going to come into effect against this?
It might, but the only thing he can call by the Grave is the Kagari, most likely, unless Mirko chooses to use the effect of Ray, in which case he could chain it. But if he just link summons normally with Ray,
And we see the Widow Anchor there.
yeah, Widow Anchor being pulled off multi-roll. I think we're going to start to see the Sky Striker deck doing its thing, just grinding out the Trickstar deck. But we'll find out. So yeah, if Mirko chooses to use the effective Ray, but I have no idea why he would use the effective Ray, then it would burn him quite hard. But I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's just going to link summon.
Looks
normally.
like that's exactly what he's doing. He's trying to build up some momentum and get back into this game. Ping did start strongly, but it looks like Mirko will be
one
able
Twin Twister, even though it was a really bad, like using 2 cards to deal with that one light stage, it really hit Ping quite hard, because he's got
it kind of stopped him in his tracks a little bit.
It really did, yeah. So, yeah, he just had enough to stop. I mean, if Ping had had, you know, one extra way to access his Trickstar cards. Oh, that's interesting. What's he doing there? Why did he attack? Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure why he chose to attack the...
Well, he seems to be totally okay with that, Tom. It wasn't phasing him at all. He just, you know, as soon as Ping activated the card, he just moved to the battle phase. So he was quite confident in it, it seemed.
Maybe he was just trying to bait the Call by the Grave, I don't know. But I honestly have no idea. Maybe he just changed his mind. I don't know why he summoned the Hayate in the first place if his plan was just to attack over... yeah, I'm not really sure what went on there.
So we can see that this is looking to be quite a...
Maybe Ping just got a little bit excited at what he thought was a mistake from Mirko.
Okay.
Because if he just held that Call by the Grave face down for a second longer, let the Ray come out of the graveyard, then the Ray would have used its effect. Because he knew the Call Widow Anchor was there. So if he just let that attack resolve, then the Hayate would have gone to the graveyard, Ray would have come out, and he presumably would have used the effect of Ray in the battle phase, and then he could have negated that Ray effect. And the Widow Anchor would have been less useful in doing so. Players just checking who gets to choose where the Phoenix ends up.
And it looks like Ping gets to decide.
Yeah, it looks like he's choosing now. So Ping is, I think, direly hoping to see a copy of the field spell off the top of his deck. The Trickstar field spell being Trickstar Light Stage. That'll let him search and shut off the Widow Anchor to then search with the Candina, but I don't know what that is. Oh, can't do that. So I think it may have been a mistake of Ping to show him the engage. Maybe he was a little bit too excited.
Obviously, we know you can't activate that engage while you have those monsters in your main monster zones.
Yeah. Has Mirko only got 3 spells in his grave? I thought he had more than 3. Apparently not.
So the crowd is starting to rumble here. You can really hear the tension in the room. This is what it comes down to, the final match of the YCS, the biggest event ever in London. And they're looking on eagerly. You can tell they're really trying to get behind Ping.
Yeah, Ping's got that engage in his hand, which is an excellent way of coming back. But I feel like at this point in the game, the Sky Striker deck starts to become too advanced and starts to get too many
Mirko
resources.
must be feeling confident. He's played through a bunch of Ping's cards. He's got more cards on the field. He looks to, as you say, being able to grind the more the game goes on, and he's taking control of that Phoenix now.
Yeah, I mean, Ping's got... Yeah, I mean,
He's
I
having
think
a
maybe
think.
Ping's
He's
a little
looking
bit more
through his
nervous in
graveyard.
this match, because that was a little mistake just activating that engage with the Nightmare Phoenix on the board.
And Mirko just looking to activate yet more cards.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to assemble... It looks like he's aiming for a Boral Sword. I don't know if he can use the effect of Boral Sword to swing for... That was a very callous throw of whatever was there.
I think it's just getting excited now. He's realising that the momentum is all with him.
Is that just game on the table? Yeah,
It looks like it is.
Yeah, you can use the effective ray, and that's enough for game.
And there you have it,
Game
Mirko with the first game going to Italy. Mirko Zanelli with the Sky Striker Pure. And the crowd, we're going to pass to Luke right now.
Much Dom. So we're here with one of Ping's friends among the crowd. The very strong UK crowd's probably feeling a bit rough at the minute. How are you feeling for him?
I'm feeling okay. I think Ping knows this matchup really well, and I don't think the first loss will phase him at all. He's a very calm person. He knows what he's doing. So I have full faith in him.
Does everybody else have faith? I was expecting them to cheer.
I mean, I have faith.
Back to you, Dom.
Yes, thank you very much, Luke. That looks as if the crowd are still trying to edge on their home player here. And we are just looking at the players shuffle up their decks, looking through their
at the
side decks.
Are we going to see another massively evenly matched from Ping?
That was immense in his
Are we going to
last
see an
match.
evenly matched? He's also in Zanelli's side deck. Zanelli's got to figure out whether he's going to be going first or second. There's a lot to figure out.
And is there as much option at this stage? They both know each other's decks. Is there any clear go-to options here, Tom?
My go-to option is Ping should be siding in those shared rides.
Okay.
For certain, and possibly the extra.
And
twisters.
how's he looking to utilise them in this matchup?
Well, making the Sky Striker deck pause for a turn is pretty powerful. I mean, especially with the Trickstar deck, you can just pile on some damage. And that was the reason people included the Trickstar cards in the Sky Striker deck in the first place, was the ability to just pile on that extra damage, which traditionally Sky Striker really struggled to do. So making your opponent pause for a turn is very scary. If you're the Sky Striker deck, you really can't afford to pause for a turn under something like a shared ride.
And we're totally expecting Ping to be able going first in this second game.
That's what I'm expecting, but Ping has surprised me before. So let's see
We
how it
never
goes.
know.
We
And he
never
took
know.
you off guard with that play in the last
He took
match.
me off guard with that Cyber Dragon, for certain.
Unbelievable play that was. Let's hope for some more plays along those lines. We can see that they're just about ready. They're offering each other a cut. Decks are being positioned. And here we go. Game 2, finals of the YCS London 2018. We'll get those hands loaded in for you as quickly as possible. Both players calm as ever. I must admit, they both look absolutely confident in
Ping
the
being
pre-match.
told to slow down.
He is really speedy Gonzalez,
He's
isn't
very
he?
fast, yeah. Needing to... there's the
The
room's
lights
going
just
dark,
dimming. It's
yeah.
almost as if they're just...
Setting the stage.
Yep. And here we see it. And there's the Ash from Mirko, but the call by the Grave.
Fast he moves.
Ping is unbelievably
like,
quick
just
to respond there.
Get that out of my face.
Yep, he's like, nope, no Ash Blossom for you. There comes the light stage as well.
So it's really down to what's in Mirko's hand here. I
Yep.
think the simplified game state kind of benefits the Trickstar deck.
So we see an additional hand trap there for Mirko. We see that Ghost Bell. Is that going to come into effect, Tom?
I don't know. I don't know Ghost Bell does so much in this matchup.
He's got the terraforming as well. That will get him going.
It will. It's quite... We're seeing like the old school plays of having to play around Reincarnation here.
Okay.
Which is pretty funny. So you have to set your good cards first. It was one of those really funny interactions where if you had Trickstar Reincarnation, like the threat of Reincarnation was always present, causing players to set their good cards first. So then if you actually had some powerful spell and trap removal like Heavy Storm Dust or Twin Twisters, your opponent would set their good cards, like their engages or whatever, and then they'd just set them for you to destroy, which is very nice of them.
Mirko looks as calm as he did in the first game, even with that big counter back by Call by the Grey from Ping last turn.
Yeah, I think he's kind of happy not to be seeing any Sky Striker cards on Ping's side, because the combination of the Trickstars and the Sky Striker is really what piles on the pressure.
It allows you to have that, because that resource manipulation from the Trickstars, as well as the, well, it's not as
The
if
damage plus the resources coming from the Sky Striker cards. Yeah, and he also knows that Ping's not got most likely not got a Scapegoat face down because he saw him search the Reincarnation, I think, or maybe he didn't. If he didn't see him search the Reincarnation, then in the back of his mind there's gonna be the worry that Scapegoat will finish the be a big swing.
So we see the Kagari come down for Mirko, but straight away there's a response from Ping yet again.
Yeah, adding the Licorice back. Just
And
wait
there
and
we see the Reincarnation as well.
just to get that engage out of the hand. Do some extra damage. General Trickstar things.
And the murmurs in the crowd. There's just
I think
still
I saw
there.
another engage.
It looks
sadly
like
for
it.
Ping.
It looks like it, but the murmurs in the crowd, you can really feel that this is a bit back and forth this game.
Yeah, this is sort of the opening. This is what really tends to determine the game. The first turn is probably the most important in any given game. I mean, sometimes when it's back and forth, both players are top decking, that can be really exciting.
I'm nervous and I'm not even playing, Tom. I'm just anxious to see what's going to happen next.
Should we come up with a hand of Mirko? I think that's the cool bit here. So
And
we've got
you can
he's
see
got
the-
the engage
yep.
that he just drew.
The
Just
area
sad
0.
times for Ping because he just banished one and now another one's been drawn.
And Mirko
He's
just
choosing not to use it this turn.
continuing his plays.
Because if he uses it, then it'll be in his graveyard, and Shizuku won't be able to search. Okay. Alright, he's just link summoning before he used it. I don't really know why he'd link summon before he used it, but I guess it doesn't really matter.
Is that not an optimal play? Would you have expected something slightly different there?
I was just expecting him to use it before he link summoned, but it really doesn't matter, I guess. I mean, because that way you can decide afterwards if something weird happens that you're going to do something else, but I mean, it doesn't matter too much at all.
And there we
if
see
I'm totally
multiple
honest.
cards being set to the table. Ping, deep thought right now. You can see him. He's clutching his hands there.
Yeah, that is definitely thinking face. This Eagle Booster.
Plenty of memes out there, Tom. Plenty of memes out there for Pens thinking.
Yeah, this Eagle Booster might be a bit of a shoe in the way of, like, it really stops you dealing that much damage. It just says you can't kill my Shizuku.
Okay.
And then, so, with a monster that's not going to leave, it effectively, you know, almost like reduces the attack of all of Ping's monsters by 1,500, plus whatever the Shizuku is reducing them by in the first place. So
we've got a heavy field presence for Mirko. We've got
I think
plenty of
Mirko's
cards in hand
pretty happy right now.
for Ping. Ping is plotting and scheming away on that side of the field. And yet again, we see the response to the light stage activation.
I'm interested he chose the Eagle Booster. I mean, I know, I guess it just forces out the Eagle Booster immediately. So, I mean, he knew the Eagle Booster was there, so I don't really see the point in him.
And it looks like he still has that additional copy of light stage in hand.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why he did that, if I'm totally honest. Because he knew the Eagle Booster was there. And the fact that he's played it now rather than later, does it achieve anything?
So he tributes.
I guess we'll wait and see.
He tributes the Trickstar for the Cyber Dragon, then in his battle phase.
No, this is not his battle
Oh.
phase, so he can contact
He
Fuse.
contacts Fuse, activates the second copy of Light
This
Stage
is
from
one
his
of
hand.
the very, very few ways in order to get a monster that's unaffected by all card effects off the field. I would say. Can't
Well,
really
you're
think
using it as a
can't be
material
destroyed by battle.
So you're
Or card effect,
yeah.
unaffected by card effects.
So
Use it as a link material.
Exactly, just uses it as material. We see the Widow Anchor flipping. And Ping, you know, just absolutely going for it. Everything. He's thinking about every play, how to work around that board from
Yeah, I think
from
Ping's going to
Mirko.
be slightly upset that he hit the Widow Anchor instead of the another card face down. But he might have enough damage to seal the game anyway. Well, the weird thing about Trickstar is even though they don't do enough damage to win the game outright, then they say, you're only on 400, you draw for turn, you take 400 damage.
Yep, and there it is. Ping with the Trickstar damage straight back to Luke.
Are we going straight back to Luke?
It doesn't seem like we are, so let's carry on there.
I was going to say, I think it's still us.
So yeah, Ping takes it 1-1.
Yeah,
We're
that
going
was
to game 3 here.
Oh, we are going to Luke. He's waving at us.
Go to it, Luke.
Go to it, Luke.
E-Man team, how you feeling? Come on, you can talk, someone.
Yeah, I think he still wins.
You think he still wins?
We're just hoping for the best for game 3, but he's going first, and I think he knows the matchup well enough. So, yeah.
How is he good under the pressure? Any good?
I don't know. He should be fine so far. It seems good what he's doing. So, yeah.
Okay. So confident in him. Let's see what happens.
Thank you very much, Luke. Yes, that was great to see. The crowd is absolutely exciting and ecstatic here at London.
Cyber Dragon coming in clutch again.
Unbelievable. He seems to be using that to its full potential.
His one copy, well, he's got one copy in the side and one copy in the main, and it's just coming in clutch over and over again.
And it comes down to it, Tom. This is Game 3 Finals, YCS London 2018. Ping Zhao, the home player, forcing the game through there. Mirko Zanelli of Italy looking on, absolutely intense stuff. The crowd, you can hear it still now, the mumbling, the murmuring.
There's no other way to deal with a monster that's been hit by Equal Booster, pretty much.
It was
can't
cunning.
be destroyed by battle, can't
Cunning.
be affected by card effects. So our contact
Do you
fuse it.
think Mirko was expecting it at all?
No. I don't think
No,
he expects
he might have watched the previous match.
tribute summon Cyber Dragon.
Well,
Fuse your monster away. Who tribute summons a Cyber Dragon?
evidently,
Ping does.
Ping Zhao in the
This is
final of
actually the
YCS
second
London
time
does.
he's tributed. He actually tributed Cyber Dragon in the previous feature match as well.
So here we have it.
Ping
They're
has-
loading the hands into the app for us now. It looks like Ping has plenty of spell cards.
He does. I mean, his deck has got 22 of them, so
Yeah, but he's drawn.
I can see a Mind Control, which is a good card to have. Ooh, that's a nice hand for Mirko as well. He's got Terraforming. Oh no, he's got 2 Area Zeros to go with his Terraforming, which is not really ideal, because the only target for Terraforming is Area 0, and that would give him 3 Area 0, and that's way more than you want. You only really want 1. Has he got even 3 Area 0 in his main deck? He does. But I mean, the nice thing about Terraforming is it can just be set as food for the Area 0 anyway.
Okay.
So it's not so dire. People have thought about this. It's like, even if I draw Area 0 and Terraforming,
I'm still going to use it and
I
send
can
it
still
away. Yep.
make some use of it. One of the good things about Area 0, assuming that the Area 0 hits, which he very much is hoping that it does. Yep, there we go. Those are some pretty good options. I mean, if I were him, I would honestly have picked the Ray.
Well, he has.
So he had the option of the Ray, and now I suppose he doesn't have to pick the Ray actually, because multi-roll can send away the Area 0 for Ray. I stand corrected. That was probably a better move.
So Mirko, really knowing his deck there, knows
Knows
that he
his
can
deck.
go back and then look for it, and that's going to serve him well. He's got an extensive knowledge. Obviously, these guys, they've played it's numerous rounds, day 1 and day 2, and here they are in the final. We do not expect them to make any sort of errors in terms of decision making at this point. Not in the finals.
Not in the finals. I mean, yeah, he could have used the engage before the multi-roll on area 0, and then he would have had an extra Hayati in his extra deck for later in the game, for what it's worth. I mean, I'm not sure having the extra Hayati later in the game is worth the risk of your plays somehow being interrupted later in the game. So
there we see the Widow Anchor on
fair
his...
enough.
And
this I don't like, if I'm going to be totally honest. Because, I mean, I suppose he's probably not expecting Ghost Bell, but
if
or
there was
Impermanence. But if he just held the Widow Anchor for a second, he could have Link summoned Kagari, added back the engage, then used his Widow Anchor on the Kagari, and then that way he knows his Kagari is not going to be negated. I mean, if it's already resolved, it's not going to be negated, right? So that would have been a way to play around a possible interrupt. Although, having said that, he does have the Eagle Booster anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
So he's building the momentum here, isn't he?
I suppose he would have lost out to DD Crow. But other than that, I think he'd be rightly
This is a strong start from Mirko.
This is a very, very strong
This is an extremely strong position.
He's got 4 counters.
He's got a lot of cards in hand. He's got a very good field presence.
When you're drawing off engage on your first turn, I would say that's a strong start. And I assume that is the Eagle Booster face down. So really for Ping, this is one big turn here, make or break. What can you do?
And what are we expecting from Ping, Tom? He's going to have to use that mind control. He's going to go into that terraforming.
Yeah, he's got a great hand, but the mind control does get a little bit shut down by the Eagle Booster, which is a card we're seeing being played more and more in the Sky Striker deck.
The Sky Striker deck has evolved, and we're seeing that here with additional copies of Eagle Booster, additional copies of Afterburners being played. Is that something that was... Do you feel that is a natural progression based on the way the meta's moved?
The Eagle Booster was in particularly important in the mirror match because it means that it essentially negates your opponent's Widow Anchor. Oh, it doesn't negate it, but it prevents your opponent's Widow Anchor from doing what it wants to do, which is take control of your monster. And that was the big way to swing the tempo in the mirror match. So if you could have a card which trades with the Widow Anchor, which is one of the other best cards in the match, why not? You know, it's a Sky Striker card, it's got all this versatility, and then it also has this, you know, powerful interaction against Widow Anchor. I think you're feeling pretty good about that.
Yep. So we see Ping straight away with the terraforming into the light stage. He's adding Candina to hand now.
Yeah, it's doing really well, that. I mean, Ping knows it's there. He knows the booster is there, and he's got 2 mind control, which is just really unfortunate because if you try, you know, the mind control will just get
it won't
resolve.
serve him as he's hoping for it to serve him.
Exactly. He knows it's not going to resolve.
And he's just looking through his hand. There are a lot of cards in Ping Zhao's hands,
and
there are a lot of cards on Mirko's field.
So he's going to use the light stage now, or maybe not now, I don't know.
He's about to play something, and there's the Candina.
That's kind of an interesting one. So he's got the option.
What's he thinking there?
Well, he's got the option to use the light stage, but instead, you know, possibly hit the Widow Anchor, but instead he's just going to summon the Candina first. And then now, when he uses the light stage, he's guaranteed to hit whatever card that he wanted to hit, which I assume is going to be the engage. He's now got the choice. He knows both of Mirko's cards are either, well, he knows which one is which. He knows there's an engage. He knows there's a Eagle Booster face down.
So the game, is it turning now in favour of Ping?
That was a nice play because Mirko was essentially risking on whether he thought Ping would have the Licorice in hand, and then he did have the Licorice in hand. So it's nice for Ping that he got that sort of free +1 essentially.
And we see Ping set multiple cards to his spell and trap card zone there.
Yep. So Mirko choosing to bring the Area 0 out of his graveyard.
And drawing, and we see the reincarnation from Ping.
It's pretty good that, 'cause it's gonna take a lot of spells out of the deck for Mirko. So it might leave him in an awkward position, because now all of a sudden, you know, okay. He wants one less spell out of his deck. He wants one more in his graveyard. But yeah, it can sometimes, you know, once all the resources are in the hand, if you banish them all, then they're gone.
Yep.
Forever. They're not even in the deck anymore.
It looks like they're resolving.
Which can sometimes be awkward. Yeah, he's just resolving the reincarnation now.
Yep. And we're just letting the staff on stage there catch up.
Staff have got to, like, it's
after
almost like the
drawing
start
so
of the
many
game,
cards.
yeah,
Yeah,
when he's drawn 4 cards at a time. Should we bring up the hand?
Yep.
Yep.
It's just loading in now.
And this shared ride is going to buy Ping a pretty vital turn.
So we see a copy of Terraforming, the Ghost Bell and the Sky Striker multi-roll, as well as the Foolish Burial Goods for Mirko. How do we feel about that hand?
I think he feels probably okay. I mean, he has enough stuff on the board to sort of play, regardless of what he drew. So maybe in this situation you don't want your Sky Striker cards because you know you can access them from the deck anyway.
And what tricks is he expecting from Ping at this stage? He's got those 2 face downs.
What tricks is he expecting from the Trickstar deck?
Yeah, I did do that deliberately.
Did you?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, he's probably unhappy when he sees the shared ride, for sure. Because that shared ride is going to really slow down what he's trying to do. When you play shared ride, your opponent says you either have to kill me this turn or you have to stop. And Sky Striker is a deck notorious for not being able to kill someone on any given turn, so that he's going to have to stop.
It takes a while.
It does take a while. So, you know,
There we
this shared
see
ride is going to
the
trade
Link Summon.
and then effectively pass the turn of Mirko.
And
might see
there it is, as you
reaction
mentioned,
from the crowd.
There was a bit of a reaction,
There's
not
a bit of a reaction.
overly.
It's getting bigger. They're clapping.
playing hard to get this crowd.
They are playing hard to get.
So it sends that shared ride away to the graveyard.
So now, I mean, it's amazing. It is definitely comparable to Maxi in situations like this. It's like
Maxi, that ever
gets a
popular
draw,
card.
replaces itself immediately, and then stops your opponent from doing what they wanted to do.
And we had that even brought up earlier, that Zheng Yang in the previous.
He just said, like, what's the difference between the format? He just said,
Maxi, no hesitation.
The one card.
Absolute meta changer.
Mirko
just taking his time, looking through.
Because the clock has stopped. Does that mean they're talking to the judges about something? I wonder what they're talking to the judges about.
So it does look like that they're catching up on something at the stage there. Ping and Mirko look very calm, very collected.
Yeah, I mean, I've not seen any sort of movement from the judges across the table to indicate what
No,
this is
just
about.
multiple discussions going on. The players are just taking their time, being calm, collecting their thoughts. You know all about this, Tom.
Yeah.
You've played the YCS finals.
I've never played a YCS final.
Oh, you haven't? No.
Mirko should definitely be on 7,600 life points and not 8,000 because he drew a card while Licorice was on the field. But other than that, I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't stop the game just to edit the life points by 600.
So we're going to continue with the game now.
So that Afterburners is going to bait out Ping to use his back row, and he's chosen to banish. What's he choosing to banish? The Shizuku, Ray? Shizuku.
Yep.
Maybe not Shizuku? Maybe Mirko said he's not going to let him banish the Shizuku.
He's having a deep think, isn't he?
I don't know, it looked like he picked the Shizuku, but maybe he was just thinking. I don't know. I mean,
and all the while
to me the obvious choice is Ray, because if you banish the... Like, I'm not sure he's that bothered if Mirko's going to link summon Shizuku and then on a later turn he'll get a draw at the end of the turn.
Well, it looks like everything's resolved, Tom. So
yeah, everything's resolved. I think he picked the Shizuku. But I'm not sure he's that bothered if Mirko makes a Shizuku and then searches a card, because then he'll get a draw. And a draw for a draw is probably something he's happy with at this point.
So Mirko enters the battle phase, was that?
That was the battle phase.
It declares an attack.
Does some
nudges
damage.
that card forward.
Don't know how many spells there are on his grave. 4 or 5? You know what Sky Strikers are like. They always have spells in their grave.
They like it.
They do like having spells
They
in their grave.
need it. More importantly,
They do.
4 spells in his grave.
4, indeed. One less now. Being the
So
Widow
let's-
Anchor.
so
Oh, that was super fast. He's very happy with that Pot of Desires
Pot
right there.
of Desires off the
Ooh.
top.
I'm also seeing an evenly matched.
Yep. And he has a
This-
Candina as well.
May swing the game a fair bit, that evenly matched that he's drawn.
Everybody loves Pot of Desires. You draw 2 cards. Okay, you banish 10
You
cards.
know, a lot
face
of people hate Pot of Desires.
Well, when they banish cards they need to be drawing,
exactly.
yes. But
yeah, but
I can't help but feel they like it or they wouldn't play it.
he's drawn some cards that he needed to be drawing, i.e. the the Scapegoat.
So we see the Scapegoat and the Call by the Grave.
Those are some pretty good draws.
And there comes the
And that
evenly
is
matched.
a big swing.
That is huge. And that gets a round of applause from the audience here in the final. There they are. They're noticing themselves.
That was a good
Ping Zhao
reaction.
really bringing the game back in favour, back into his swing. And I'm not sure Mirko was happy to see that, Tom.
He was definitely not happy to see that.
There's a stern look on his face, and there we see the Candina.
Very stern. He's just going to check before he activates the effect of Candine. He's not banished all of his targets. Fortunately for Ping, he is not. That evenly match was pretty big.
That was brutal. It felt brutal to me.
It is
It was
brutal.
3 cards taken away from Mirko.
Given the drawing into the Scapegoat as well, I think we're going to see quite a visible reaction from Mirko when that Scapegoat is activated. He's like, he's just all of his cards are gone, and maybe his solace is that Ping won't have that much to do, but Ping's definitely got quite a lot to do.
So he adds the Lily Bell to his hand.
Lily Bell. That's interesting
and
because
summons it.
he can't attack with it. Normally that's what you want to do. Mirko just pointing out that he can't attack with it. And the crowd
so
realising that too.
Yep. That wasn't a best pleased moment there. Ping apologising to everybody, including the crowd.
Putting his hands up saying, yep, that was wrong.
And he's just looking through that extra deck now.
Link, I don't know what that's doing. I think Ping maybe being a little bit, a little bit nervous.
He's gone into the Cerberus.
I mean, that Cerberus has got less attack than the Candina, and it's only 1 monster, so I'm not sure that was... I mean, I suppose it clears his field to use the Scapegoat.
How's Mirko feeling about this?
I think he's feeling very sad with that evenly match. That evenly match was huge.
But is he still in? Does he still feel confident about the match? What's going through your mind at that point when the match swings completely in favour to your opponent almost?
I mean, he's got a turn now to get going again after that shared ride shut him down for a turn. Now he's got a turn to do what he wants. Although unfortunately at this point he really doesn't have that much going for him. So in his hand he's now got the area 0, and I guess he's just going to have to hope that that area 0 pulls some magic out the deck.
And I think the crowd is sensing the momentum of this duel switching to Ping Zhao of the UK.
So this is really clutch here what comes off this area 0.
So let's see.
That's not a Sky Striker card.
It's a Twin Twister and the Ash.
No Sky
and
Striker
the
cards
crowd
there.
is aware. This is more and more in favour of Ping. Not what Mirko wanted to see from the top of the deck.
Not at all, yeah. So Ping's got this Caught by the Grave here, which is, I'm assuming, just going to end up negating a Kagari. So he's probably going to, we're probably going to see the Kagari linked away. And then he's going to summon a second Kagari. So he's got to remember that Ray is being negated here. It could be, Ray is not being negated. Shizuku is being negated. Shizuku is no longer being negated. He used it last turn.
Okay.
Nothing is being negated by Ping's last copy of Caught by the Grave.
And so Mirko just looking through his opponent's graveyard. Looks like he wants to move to the battle phase.
So Mirko, if he crashes here, then this Call by the Grave could be very big.
And it looks like that's what he's planning, Tom.
If
He's
that
motioning.
attack
He
happens-
declares the attack and he's already activating an effect.
Yeah, and Ping this time I think is just going to wait, unlike last time. So
He doesn't want to get ahead of himself.
He's going to assume that the Ray is going to be used during the battle phase, which to my mind is the correct way about it, because Mirko is almost certainly going to use the Ray during the battle phase. But Mirko does have the Ghost Bell.
And there we see it. Just as you planned, the roar in this place. The home contingent knows this is it.
Premature reaction from the crowd there, because the Ghost Bell does just negate the call by the grave.
He's still motioning towards attacking the Cerberus.
I mean, Ghost Bell just negates the call by the
grave.
grave.
Wow! So the counterplay from Mirko is actually more important there.
Oh, very much so. Yeah.
And how's Ping feeling? Ping was so quick.
He was probably quite excited that was going to shut the game down for Mirko completely. But then the Ghost Bell, which initially looks quite innocent, but in a situation like that is completely clutch.
Brutal. It swung one way, back to the other way.
And yeah, Ping's also going to have to keep an eye on the time here with only 4 minutes left, if that is correct, because we're often like, this timer is often like 10 seconds.
Those hand traps, and there we see the engage from the hand as well from Mirko.
This is going to be really close. I mean, the scapegoat is going to come back for a huge push for Ping, but he is behind on life points, so he does need to make
have
sure
those
that he
2
gets
copies of Mind Control in hand, Tom.
Yes.
Are they going to come into play? Could that be the deciding factor here?
It could indeed be very big, depending on whether Mirko gets access to any copies of Eagle Booster.
We know Mirko has that impermanence on the field. Is that going to be significant?
It might get targeted by the Trickstar Light stage, but we don't know.
So we see the scapegoat. We see the tokens.
Yeah, I'm tense.
I'm tense. You're tense. I'm
who's
tense.
going to win this game.
And to be fair, the guys are playing at such a pace in the fight. Is that nerves? They're just playing rapidly.
I mean, Mirko, Ping might very well be aware of how long is left on the clock.
Okay.
This mind control is going to be big because it doesn't look like Mirko has got himself access to a copy of Eagle Booster, so it is just going to take away his only protection in the form of Shizuku and give Ping an extra link material. He's got a lot of options this turn. It just depends whether those options are enough.
Okay. And he adds that.
He's added the Eagle Booster. Has he not already used multi-roll this turn?
Not sure.
Did he not just?
I'm not sure.
No, he just set it from his hand.
Okay.
Okay. That's fine. He'd only set cards from his hand previous. He hadn't actually used them. So that Eagle Booster there once again will shut down Ping's mind controls for the 50th
So it's quite a significant card.
It's just sat there shutting down both copies of mind control for the whole
game. And Ping's aware of
that
because obviously he has the information that is being set.
But there's just nothing he can do about it.
So this is it. Ping.
This is pretty clutch.
Ping needs something from his deck.
Yes.
He's looking through the extra deck right now. He's rapidly moving through options.
He's going to get possibly a Nightmare draw, depending on whether he was able to freeze the Widow Anchor. I don't know whether he was able to freeze the Widow Anchor.
Phoenix. He's gone into the Phoenix. He's discarding the Ash that he drew.
It was not a Widow Anchor. Okay, maybe the Widow Anchor was.
And Mirko responding, sending that light sway.
He's drawn the Pot of Desires. He's already resolved the Pot of Desires. I like that little interaction between the players there.
And there it is, the second Pot of Desires this game. And Mirko saying to him...
Has Ping just decked himself out? Has he got like 2 cards left?
And the impermanence for Mirko on the Pot of Desires.
Oh no.
And the crowd is loving this.
Oh,
the Italians are loving this.
In the final. Such
Ping just...
Oh, it feels so bad for Ping there.
Activating the Pot of Desires, but it gets shut down by the impermanence. And we can hear the chants as well.
Can make a Boral Sword, but I don't think it does enough damage. Maybe it does.
He's motioning towards...
It's only going to do... Is it going to do enough damage? I don't know. We need to do some arithmetic, Dom. Arithmetic.
That's your strong point, Tom.
London.
That's your strong point. I can't deal with this. My nerves are on edge here. Come on.
I don't think the Bomber Dragon does enough damage.
So
that's for
certain. He moves to battle phase.
Players just discussing
So there's a bit of ongoings here. It looks like Ping was
maybe the Bomber Dragon does do enough damage. It does 1,500 burn damage. Oh, it's a Widow Anchor.
It's a Widow Anchor
no,
from
it does
Mirko.
not do enough damage.
And is there anything at this stage? Is there anything? Is that the deciding card, Tom?
I don't know. I thought Ping still had a reincarnation in his grave. And he does.
And there we see the Eagle Booster.
Eagle Booster negating the effect of Lily Bell. I don't know how much damage is going to be done.
I'm on edge.
I'm on edge.
I'm just...
Ping playing very fast. How much damage is it? Is Ping conceding? Or is he trying to say he's won?
I'm not sure. I am not sure.
What's going on?
The judges are having a chat with the players. The players are just trying to see where they're at. It's time on the round.
I can't see Ping doing any damage.
And I can speak.
If I'm honest.
I can confirm.
It looks like Ping's got like 400 damage. And he's like 2,000 life points behind.
It is time on the...
So I don't know. I think Mirko's just got this one. He's gonna do like 400 damage. But they're still going.
They are definitely still going. The crowd, the murmurs in the crowd. Every fingernails being bitten.
Yeah,
and there's the handshake. And there's the handshake. Mirko Zanelli of Italy with the Sky Striker deck takes the match and is the YCS champion of 2018 here in London.
We couldn't see that on the...
We couldn't. There was some confusion.
Throwing his cards there.
There
He
was
seems
some
pretty
confusion.
happy.
The crowd is making a lot of noise there.
I had no idea what they were talking about.
But ultimately, the Widow
There seems to
Anchor.
be 100 plays going on.
And we are
within a second from Ping.
Yeah, and we are trying to go over to the stage for you. Oliver is trying to get the attention of Mirko right now.
That was pretty crazy.
I couldn't believe it. Tom, I was on edge.
That pot
Seriously,
of desires negating the infinite impact.
I could not take it. The
Totally
Italians, they're going mad here in the crowd.
I think we're going over to Ollie now.
They're being asked to quieten down. We are ready to hand you over to Oliver Gurman. Here we go.
Yeah, guys, we're here at the main stage with the winner of YCS London, Mirko Zanelli. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
How are you feeling right now?
For me, it's amazing. I don't feel it when I started this tournament I win, but I'm very so happy, and I want to thank all my team, all my friends for support. I want to shout my big victory with all of them.
Sure. Well, I have to give it up to the Italian fans. In fact, they were like outnumbered by 1 to 10 or something, and they made as much noise as the guys from the UK. Can we hear it again from the Italy fans here? Right. So you did not expect this. What was the finals for you like? What was it like?
I didn't expect a trickster in the final, but the match is so hard because if the guys play a lot of cards against me, like Cyber Dragon. In fact, in the second game, I scoop. Probably I mistake. I make to anchor all the Cyber Dragon. I didn't calculate very well, but. In the final, probably make a mistake is more easy.
It does happen in the finals, yes. So after that first game, how did you? We're trying to settle down a little bit. After that first game,
in the first game I really started very well, and so also in the first game when I win, I feel better. Yeah.
Did you feel like you had this one in the bag after the first game, or were you like shaking and hoping for the best?
I don't know, but yeah, maybe, yeah.
So Ping does take the second game. His plays were just masterful. I think it's fair to say that he was the by far best trickster player in the venue. Would you say the same?
Yeah, I think the guys play very well. All the mistake is that desire, but I make a lot of mistakes. So it's really in the final we can make a mistake because the pressure is more.
And in that last game we went to time. Ping was about to keep playing. It seemed like he had something else. Were you nervous that he suddenly came up with some magic?
Yeah, I see, because I agree. video.
Okay, but in the timeout you won, and this trophy is now yours. You're our latest YCS winner. Congratulations. Please lift the trophy, and your fans maybe give another round of applause. Yeah. Well, congratulations again, Mirko Zanelli, our latest YCS champion. This was the largest Yu-Gi-Oh event in the UK ever. It's been the 4th time we've been to London. Italy has now taken the title twice. I know that these guys are going to drive home and it's going to be a very enjoyable ride. But also we have to give it up for Xing Piao, who represented the UK with style. He's been an amazing champion as well. 1-time YCS winner, almost a 2-time YCS winner. So please give it up for our other finalist, Xing Piao. Thank you very much. We hope to see you all again when we in fact go to Italy later this year for YCS Milan.
Yeah.
So that means we're now going to take a little bit of a longer break, and the YCS will of course return to our Twitch stream. So see you all very, very soon.